The Thunder, obviously, they take the series, but the cardiac Pacers go up 3-1 on the New York Knicks after defeating them 130 to 121 on Tuesday, while the Thunder are headed to the finals. Minnesota got bullets from jump, and Hallie was the best player in the playoffs with that game that he just had. I mean, he was the first player to have zero turnovers since they tracked turnovers, I believe, in 1977. So, um, OKC is the first team in NBA history to have four wins by 30 plus in the playoffs, and Shea becomes just the fifth player in NBA history to record 40, 10, 9, and in a conference finals game. So, a lot of history that we just witnessed over these playoffs for the past, what, 2 days?
Mhm. Hey man, let me tell you something. We're about to have some really, really uncomfortable conversations if he wins the finals. Really uncomfortable, like better than like James Harden and Westbrook conversations. Okay,
Oh boy.
He
look,
is.
no one wants
If
to
he
hear it.
does,
No one wants to hear it. But if he wins the finals, the Finals MVP, there's nothing you can tell him anymore. He's going to be the first MVP since Curry in 2015 to win MVP, and it's just or win the finals and MVP. And dude, he last night. I don't want to hear anything about flopping. He scored 34 with four free throws, by the way. So enough of that flopping stuff. He can score anywhere on the court. I've been saying that all playoffs. Yes, he gets a lot of calls, but let's not ignore everyone else in the playoffs getting the crazy calls. Like for example, on the other side, Jalen Brunson. Okay, and
Thank
like
you.
moving on to that series, the Pacers look unstoppable. I mean, the Knicks have a knack of coming back in games, but it only lasts so long, and I don't think they can sustain that the entire playoffs. So if they're gonna come down 3-1, they're gonna have to play like real hard ball, real hard defense. They gotta get off screens faster, not let Hallie get to the paint so easily, and get these crazy layups. I mean, it's gonna take everybody to come back from a 3-1 lead, especially against a team that hot. So I got Thunder in 6 or 5, regardless of who they play. Um, but I will say, Halliburton is having a historical playoff run individually. I don't think the Pacers are as a team, but individually, he's having one of the best point guard runs we've seen in maybe a decade or two. So
yeah. I mean, I guess I have to agree with you on all those points. I know we've talked about even ranging back to last night, a lot of our philosophies about who's had a more impressive run to this point. And even since we've had that conversation, I think my philosophy at least has changed a little bit. I think that so far the Pacers have had a more impressive run, but at the same time, I think it's unfair to kind of categorize it or say it a certain way before we get through the finals. I think that decision is going to be made for us in a few weeks. It's kind of like, I mean, Nazir, I know you're a track guy. I know Chris is a track guy. This is like trying to decide who's had a better race before you hand it off to the anchor and the relays. So
right.
there's still a lot of basketball to be played, and the Pacers, like I said, still have to make it. I think so far what they've done has been more impressive. But if they go and get beat by the Thunder in 5, that's all it can still wash. So, but on the other side of things, Anthony Edwards, man, we needed you to show up in these big moments, and in back-to-back years, they just haven't been able to get it done. There's going to be, as we said about the uncomfortable conversations about Shea, there might be some uncomfortable conversations about Ant too, because you can't be one of the greatest basketball players until the lights are the brightest, and that's where they distinguish who's great and who's good.
He's the
I just
same
know
age as us.
I
So
just know Tyrese Halliburton needs to get history science. But I think that
Lord, I hope they
when
put it up
Tyrese
so you can call it
we're
corny.
gonna have to have a very strong conversation when Tyrese Halliburton goes and wins the finals. He's going to have to be looked at as a superstar. I don't care what Stephen A is saying. He's not a superstar. He's not a superstar. He's not, dude. If he wins the finals against the best team in the league, that's superstar material.
100%.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the issue is he has to do it first, and no point guard can mess with him at this stage right now. And that's a fact. No guard in the league. I've been saying this also. Anthony Edwards can't. Ja can't. When I watched Hallie against Shea, he can't mess with Shea. So it's like he has to do it first.
We're
I
gonna
don't
see
think
it again.
I think he's on the verge of superstardom, but I don't think he's a superstar yet. I think he's very close, and I only say that because I mean the injuries in the other two teams that he played. That's the only reason I say that. Because Thunder, they dismantled every team they've gone through so far, and while the Pacers have as well, there are some injuries that kind of played a cause in that. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But he's a
Him and
star. I'm
David,
not disputing that.
him
Superstar.
and David
He
were
got to
going
hold
at
up
it
on.
all last night. I had to turn my noties off, but yeah, I mean, I can't really say that him playing the Cavs and then being injured is like a bad thing because even without Darius Garland or even when they had missed one player, they still were winning games. Like when the Cavs were missing players throughout the season, they were still putting belt to behind on people. Like I just can't. I mean, I can't really like look past that, but I can see with the Bucks injury though because Damian Lillard was an X factor, and Damian Lillard was the Bucks. Him and Giannis were the Bucks at that point.
So
So
Mobley.
Even when we saw Dame play in that series too, he was hobbled still. He was coming off
right,
the deep vein thrombosis. So obviously he didn't play very well, but that was also because he was coming off another injury, a potentially one where he almost, one could argue, rushed back from.
yeah. I mean, they had so many role players that stepped up for the Bucks, but it just wasn't enough. Like everybody was counting the Pacers out the whole postseason. You know, the minute they got here in the postseason, nobody thought they were going to West Conference Finals, let alone beat Boston. Like, oh my God, that was insane. But the Knicks beat Boston, so that changes everything. I still think they could have beat Boston.
I will say Nolan did call that like the first game of the season. He said Celtics are not doing anything. I will say that.
Boston was not convincing at all to me this year, and that's why I thought the East was a little more wide open. Now, again, this doesn't take anything away from the Pacers' run at all because I think it is a great run. Don't get me wrong; nobody really expected them here, like Jalen was saying. But I do think that the East was wide open.
Yep.
And when you hear, I know we might touch on this in a little bit, but when you hear people talking about, is this the greatest playoff run of all time? Hell no, this is not the greatest playoff run of all time. Who have they really beaten that was good? A hobbled Bucks team without Dame.
Trying to tell you.
A New York Knicks team led by Jalen Brunson. And a Cavaliers team who some of their players were injured throughout that entire series, some of their key players. So I don't know, and as far as Tyrese Haliburton goes, I would put him in a superstar category. I think he's earned it. I'm going to give him his flowers. I think that he deserves that title right now. But is he one of like the upper echelon? Like, is he one of like the five best players in the league?
That's what I'm saying.
No.
That's superstar status to me. That's my definition. You have to be a top five at least.
I think superstar status is a little more loosely defined, especially in the NBA.
Because there's so many players.
That's what I'm saying. And I think that there are guys like, if you are a key leader on your team, especially a team that is going to go to the finals, I think that you can be categorized as a superstar. He's been doing this for a couple years. He's been a great guy, but he's not one of like the five best players in the league.
He's not one of the 10. Like he didn't even make second team.
I could maybe see him as a fringe 10 guy, but he's definitely not like 6 or 7 or anything like that either. So, but the Pacers run, it's impressive because they're a 4 seed, but this is not like an all-time, like underdog run we're seeing right now.
If he wins the finals, is he above Luka?
I would say an underdog run would probably be the Pistons being in this situation.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah. Excuse me, Drew, did you just ask if Tyrese Haliburton would be above Luka if he wins?
If he won the finals.
Would he? Are you serious, dude?
I think so. Why not?
What are you talking about?
That's what
If he wins the finals.
Hold on.
Hey, that's what I meant.
The finals,
that's
why not?
Exactly what I meant.
If he wins finals and finals MVP, why not? He
the conversation could be had.
Well, the thing is, he beats the Thunder. The finals. There's no way they beat OKC.
If he takes down Shea and he wins the finals with this team, I think it's a conversation. I think Luka's a better player overall, but I think that you could certainly argue for Tyrese if he wins the finals.
Who wins? Who wins more? That's the thing, bro. Like if Shea wins, I mean, I already think he's better than Luka. I thought that for over a year.
You guys are forgetting that Luka Doncic just took his team to the finals last year, a Mavericks team, which was also like it was a 5 seed. They were 5 seed.
And
He
then
also
got
just took
traded
his
because
team
he's
to the
fat.
finals last year, and he ran into a Celtics team that was like an all-time team. Like the
And he got
Celtics were
exposed, bro.
really
If
good.
he got exposed though.
Yes.
If Shea gets exposed,
He
then
doesn't
my
play any
Tyrese.
defense, but I mean, come on, that's ridiculous.
It's
That's
2 parts
almost
of
I'm
the
just
game.
telling you.
No.
I'm just telling you that
that is just absolutely ridiculous to me
If-
to say that if he wins, you would talk about him being better than Luka Doncic.
Dude, that's
Heck,
crazy.
no.
bro,
Look
it's
at how
not
deep
crazy.
the
this is
Pacers
what we're
team
saying.
is.
This is what we're saying. We're saying that if Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers win the finals, there's going to be some real uncomfortable conversations. That's
Like
one of them.
people are already trying to put him over CP3 all time. Like it's crazy.
Okay.
Like it's
Heck,
not.
no, it's
He's
just,
not,
He
that's
but-
wins
not
this
right.
ring. There will be a lot of uncomfortable conversations that will.
There's
have
already
to be
uncomfortable
had.
with
I
Shea.
think there's
bro.
uncomfortable conversations no matter what
Okay,
happens.
real
but
quick. Nolan, do you think Shea is better than Luka? Oh my goodness.
That is more of a conversation in my. I would put him above Luka right now. Yeah, I would put him above Luka
Why do you put him above Luka? Tell me that. Tell me why.
because he's an MVP. He is he's like I would say he is close to, if not in the top 5 players in the NBA right now.
So
And they're going to win the finals. He's going to win. Like, we're talking about ifs with
Okay,
the Pacers. The Thunder are going
but
to win the
everything you
finals.
just said.
Indy's not winning.
But-
There's no way.
Everything you just said.
They match up terribly against this team.
I agree, but everything you just said. MVP. He's going to win the finals. And what was your third top? What was your third one? My bad.
He's the key leader of this team. Like the Pacers are a deep team that has Halliburton's the leader,
Yes.
but the Pacers are a deep team.
But
They
let's-
have
Or
good
the
players
Thunder.
besides
But let's
them.
say this. The
Not
Pacers.
saying that the Thunder don't, but
Isaiah Joe scored 11 points in 6 minutes last night.
So Tyrese wins Finals MVP. He wins the finals, and he's the leader of the team who won the finals. Everything you just said about Shea, that would make him better than Luka. I'm not.
And he's
saying
not supposed to win
he's
it.
not.
He's not
Tyrese
supposed to
Halliburton is
win
not
it.
the MVP of the league, and you can talk about foul baiting
Finals
all you
MVP
want for Shai
is
Gilgeous-Alexander,
arguably better.
but he's absolute bucket even when he's not at the line.
Finals
I mean,
MVP
you
is
can-
arguably better though. A better accomplishment.
I mean, I think Shai's more talented player. I'm pure and plain
I
and
mean,
simple.
I agree. I'm just saying, like, if he
We're not
wins the
comparing
finals
Shea
MVP,
and Tyrese in this. We're comparing Luka and Tyrese.
yeah, if Tyrese wins the finals, bro, there's gonna
That's what I meant by
If he
uncomfortable
wins the finals,
conversations. will
like
have to
you're
be
I have
had.
there's
no
not
doubt
gonna be a
he'll
lot
win
of
the finals
dispute on
MVP.
that, bro. That's like Jalen Hurts, for example, won the Super Bowl. You know how many uncomfortable conversations there are about him being better than Lamar and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow, and no one
There's
believes it.
no uncomfortable conversation. No uncomfortable conversations in my mind, at least. He is absolutely not better than any of those guys. Just
But
like
he
I
won.
think Tyrese Halliburton, he's not better
That's
than
a
Luka Doncic.
conversation, though. I can't get mad at people who
You
have
can't
that
get mad at people for
conversation,
saying
though.
that though, because he's
The
done.
man beat Patrick Mahomes.
Nobody
I
else
can't
has
get
done
mad
it.
at that.
Jackson
With a
and
much
Allen
superior
have
team.
yet to do it. The only person to do it is Burrow. And he
Look.
lost in the championship.
So it's gonna be very interesting because if Tyrese wins it, bro, I'm not gonna like saying it, but he's
Yeah,
gonna
he ain't
be
gonna like
better
saying
than
it.
Luka.
He ain't gonna like talking about Tyrese Halliburton.
He may not take him over, but it's going to
I'm
be
not
Yeah,
close.
denying
yeah.
Halliburton's talent at all. I'm not going to deny he's a very talented player. Don't get me wrong, but is he better than Luka Doncic? At least on a talent wise? No, I don't think he is.
He's a
And
better
if I'm
passer.
judging players on talent wise, that's where I'm
Other
going
than
to.
scoring, what
He's
does
a
Luka
better-
have over Tyrese?
He's a better passer. He's a better defender. I mean, I think Luka rebounds and scores better than him, but he doesn't lead his team better than him.
But
He
then
doesn't
this
lead
goes
the-
back to the argument
When you
of
come back to
greatness
defense, Tyrese
versus.
Halliburton plays better defense.
a lot, like
You're
way better.
A
absolutely
lot.
right.
10
Don't get me
times
wrong.
better defense.
Like he's
Yes,
not
he
great
may
at
get like
defense.
he may get like 20, 25 on his head, but that's a hard 20. That's not like, oh my gosh,
Like Luka, you can just run by him and get a bucket.
When the Wolves played against the Lakers, all they did was pick on Luka constantly every game,
McDaniels.
and it worked
McDaniels.
every time.
He's too slow.
You're not going to hear any arguments from me about Luka Doncic being a good defender because he's not. He's a terrible defender. But I think he is I'm not going to say miles better, but it's close. He is a much better scorer than Tyrese Halliburton. I
Oh
think.
yeah, no, I'm not disputing that. Tyrese isn't the greatest scorer.
Scoring isn't all. It's scoring. It doesn't make you just a superstar.
No, I don't.
He does everything else,
Obviously
bro.
not. But Luka Doncic, I just think that again, he took his team to the finals last year, and him and Tyrese, I don't know. I think that this Pacers team has more than that Mavericks team, plain and simple. And he took them as a 5 seed. He was in a similar situation in the same exact time last year. He was in a very similar situation, and he took that team to the finals. And again, yes, he kind of slumped away. He kind of disappeared a little bit in the finals, but they were playing a Celtics team that, again, people were talking about all-time status. Like, they were talking about one of the greatest teams in NBA
Okay,
history.
so
and,
if-
like,
if-
top
We got
But the
10.
Thunder
two
are
comments.
The
also-
Thunder is
Two
one
comments,
considered that now. The
They
Thunder
won
are
68 games this year.
the Thunder are considered an all-time team right now. If they win the finals, especially like if Tyrese beats that team, there's no like Luka didn't beat one of those teams. Tyrese did. Say if he does.
I don't think the Thunder are on the level the Celtics were last year. I think if
Oh,
those two
Lord,
teams
definitely
match
true.
up, that the
We got a
Celtics
comment
win that
saying
game.
that the Indiana Pacers is going to win the NBA Finals.
It's just not true. The Oklahoma
No.
City Thunder are going to win, but they are. That still doesn't take away from the fact that if this Thunder team matched up with that Boston Celtics team, the Celtics would win in a 7-game series. Plain and simple.
I don't know. I think
Celtics.
that'd be very close. Well,
I think it would
if
be
we're talking
closer
last
than you
year,
would
yeah.
think.
If we're talking last year with the less experience they had, yeah, absolutely. But this year,
All right, for the sake of argument, would the Mavericks team from last year beat the Oklahoma City Thunder team from this year?
No.
Hell no.
No,
No,
but I think it'd be
definitely
close.
not.
Do you think that
They match up
had
pretty
a
well,
better
though.
chance? Yeah. Do you think they'd have a better chance?
I mean, the
than
one advantage that
Pacers?
They would have a better
is
chance than
just
they had against the Celtics last year. Yes.
they have Derek Lively on Chet. They got who else? They have PJ Washington on what J Dub or something. They got Kyrie and Luca in the backcourt.
They got Ant.
They got who?
Oh, no, not Ant. Yeah, because Luca's still there. My bad.
Anything? Who else do they have on that team? They had
Gafford,
Gafford
right?
off the bench.
Daniel Gafford.
I mean,
Yeah,
Gafford
Hardenstein
started
off the
time.
bench.
Tim
That's a
Hardaway
great
was on
matchup.
that team.
Tim Hardaway, yeah, that's a good matchup. I don't know, man.
I love how
that's
when
tough.
we talk about that team, that whenever we're like, "Oh, who else did they have?" I love how everybody says Daniel Gafford.
He's good. He was good last year.
He's a good center.
He was a good role player last year, bro.
Oh yeah, who else? What was the other guy's name?
I can't remember exactly who else was on that team, but they had some good players.
Dwight Powell, but he doesn't do much of anything anymore.
Powell's crazy, but yeah. Look, man. All I gotta say is, if the Knicks win tonight, and I don't know, force a game 6 or whatever, and
It gets dicey.
then it gets very interesting. But because, like I say, if you don't win right away, and you have this, or if you win right away and you have this long break, it could kind of ruin your mojo. So,
Absolutely. I think it's not crazy to say that the Knicks could come back down 3-1. I think that there's a little less than 50% chance it would happen. I think that they're going to win tonight, and I think it's going to come down to game 6. And
I think it could go to 6.
Then they got to win 7, though. That's the issue.
right. That's the thing. But they'll be at
They
home
got to
for
win 3
7,
straight
so-
games. That's
But
hard.
the Pacers aren't really experienced with game 7s yet.
Nope.
A ton. I mean, they played in 1 last year, but other than that, all their series are over in 6 or less.
Yeah. So
Teams just need to close out against the Pacers. I mean, think about
they need to
where the
score
Pacers
more.
would be if teams could close out against them. And that does say something to the team, but I mean, how many historic comebacks have they had this playoffs? 3 of them already.
That makes them pretty damn good. That's what I'm saying.
That does make them good. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, that's
saying.
that's a testament to the team, but it's also a testament to teams can't close it out. I mean,
there's just no way.
They make the other teams
Well, you can say
uncomfortable.
the
That's
same
what they
thing
do
for the
so well.
Nuggets. The Nuggets didn't close out Game 7.
yeah, that's very true.
That's why they lost.
That's why
Other
they
thing to
lost.
pay
They didn't
attention
close
to.
it out. You can say the same thing for the Thunder.
Other
I
thing
don't
to
know
pay
about-
attention to, you got to think about Rick Carlisle. He's already won a finals. He did it
Oh,
with the
yeah.
Mavericks, another crazy run. So just got to think about it.
Yeah, but he
It's very doable.
wasn't the head coach though. But I don't know.
Yeah, he was on the Mavs.
Pretty sure he was 2011.
Jason Kidd?
Yeah, he was.
Oh yeah, he was.
2011.
I keep forgetting Jason Kidd was not a coach at that time. You're right. He was the
No,
player.
Jason
yeah,
Kidd,
Kidd
I
was
think
on the
in
team.
2011.
He was
Jason
still
Kidd was
playing.
still a player back then.
But I always forget about that. I always mix it up. But
Yeah.
All right. Well,
I
with
got-
that,
I
we're
got
going,
Thunder. I got Thunder in 6 next round. Doesn't matter who they play. And-
Thunder in 5, baby.
Dang.
I picked the Thunder at the beginning of these playoffs, but I would
Oh, you
love
can't
to
go
see
back
the
on it
Pacers.
now.
I would
What?
love to see. I would
Thunder
love
in
to
6.
see the Pacers
Thunder
win.
in
I'll have some fun with it. Give me the Pacers.
Yeah, you sound crazy. Okay.
I would love to
Come
see
in.
the Pacers win.
I wouldn't.
Not going to happen.
I
It's
need
not
to
gonna
get
happen,
the triple
but
crown.
I'll go with the Pacers. Just
We'd have to. I don't know. Never mind.
I need
Just
Shea to get the
disregard
triple.
that.